And just this morning, a prominent MP shared a truly sickening email that was sent anonymously to former Education Minister Dame Andrea Jenkins. It says, "Dear Dame Jenkins, I hope you're doing well. I've been facing anti-Semitism for a long time in Morley. That got your attention, you dirty little posh white slut. Hope your little boy Clifford is getting molested at school by his black and brown nannies. That would teach you a thing about multiculturalism. Maybe he might get raped by a refugee. We know where you are and your filthy little Clifford, and we hope Hamas comes for you lot." So obviously we weighed up whether or not to read that out, but I think it's important to get the detail out there. I'm pleased to say that Andrea Jenkins joins me now. Andrea, how are you?
Just hearing it again, Patrick, actually. I'm a strong person, Patrick. This is about my 9th one now. I've had people walking down Morley High Street threatening to blow me up. I've had 80 emails from one constituent, which the police dismissed. I had to get the Home Secretary at the time involved, telling me to buy a stab vest. I've had the C word used and telling me to be filled with barbed wire, die in a pool of my own excrement. It just goes on. And every time people get let off, Patrick, and they said it's not a credible threat. And I'm sick of it, to be honest with you. But today is the only time I really wanted to quit, Patrick. They've gone after my little boy. And people like Chris Packham, you know, he could end up with blood on his hands one day, Patrick, because, you know, when you've got MPs that have their families at home, I've got my little 6-year-old who I adore, and I've got CCTV and everything, and people pulled my fences down before, and it's just, you know, you should not invite people to go to your home and protest in that way. It's irresponsible of Chris Packham.
I mean, yeah, obviously Chris Packham will say, look, it was peaceful protests he was talking about. I think, you know...
But it's still identifying the MP's house, which then becomes a target
which
for
then
the
becomes
people.
a big... Yeah, and I suppose it's the knock-on effect,
Exactly.
isn't it? What was the police response like to an email that you received, which, again, sorry to say this again, but I mean, it did threaten your own child with rape?
Well, my team didn't tell me immediately. They wanted to deal with the police. They was trying to protect me, but obviously I'd rather them tell me, because then I can put measures in place. I can understand what they was doing, definitely. So they tried to handle it, bless them. And then I got told this morning, and I just felt numb. I felt sick, and I burst out crying. And it's not like me. I'm quite a strong person. And I phoned the police, and yeah, fair play. You know, people I'm speaking to, they're doing their full investigation. But, it was probably looking at the time of the email to be told the person was probably drunk. I'm sorry, but that's no excuse.
No excuse.
And I'm sick of it time and time again to say that things are not a credible threat. And I'm really angry about this, Patrick, actually. I adore my boy. I live for my little boy, like most parents do. And he's 6 years old, for God's sake. And the way they wrote that, they're obviously against Israel for saying, that got your attention. Obviously racist. They keep saying about hate crimes. You know, is this not a hate crime, for God's sake? And they keep saying, and look at the end where it said about Hamas. So I think that sort of speaks volumes of the kind of person this is. But I'm sick of it. Look at the streets. It's not just about MPs, Patrick. It is about everybody on the street, up to here with the 2-tier policing system. And I want to see the Prime Minister, every police force, the useless Mayor of London get a grip of every police force along the country. We need zero tolerance policing. No crime should be small enough that it isn't punished. Everybody's had enough, and we've got to get a grip, Patrick.